Back when I first started this channel, I spent a lot of my time talking about the RTX 40 series, the leaks, the rumors, all the information we were getting on a daily basis, and that was kind of like the bread and butter of this channel. I got out of it mostly because I kind of feel like it got stale. A lot of people were talking about the video cards, and there's just so many channels talking about these cards all the time. So I wanted to kind of bring back that a little bit here with this video. And of course, I'm going to be talking about the 4080 Super. There's only really one mysterious card out there at the moment, other than the possible 4050, which seems to be non-existent. Yeah, so let's talk about the 4080 Super. Just a little self-promotion before I start this video, and no, this is not an SCD key ad or something like that. I'm just showing you guys what I have upcoming, and this is a pretty sweet all custom water-cooled system I'm going to be doing for a friend. Shout out to Min, thank you for always supporting the channel. We got a Inwin 925 classic Jay's 2 cents style build, this Z690 Aqua. And what's cool about this is that this PC was pretty cheap. All these parts are not that expensive all thrown together. So look at this Optimus block for an example. This is like one of the most expensive blocks on the market, and my friend got that for 100 bucks. So we're gonna throw this all together. Next video coming out pretty soon, and yeah, stay tuned for that, and back to the video. So first of all, many of you obviously know Videocardz, the website. It's pretty much the most prolific leaking website for video cards at this point. You have people like Caught by Kimmy and, let's see, Red Gaming Tech, Graphically Challenged. And going back to Graphically Challenged, actually, he had done a video months and months back talking about how the Super Series were definitely coming.
But next, moving on to the RTX 4080 Super, I think this one will actually be replacing a potential 4080 Ti and will be produced with the 8102 GPU with 104 SMs and 13,312 CUDA cores. Now, I do believe it'll have a slightly lower 2.4 gigahertz clock speed, but with a massive 20 gigabytes of GDDR6X running at 21 gigabits per second on a 320-bit bus. That'll actually give you 840 gigabytes per second, which is a massive improvement over the current RTX 4080.
I actually was in complete agreement with him on this, and I believe the reason why the Super Series is coming is because this generation is just a Turing generation. And I said this before, this is like one of the first videos I made about the 40 series, the 2080 Ti, and that thing was supposed to be $999, but if you checked out on launch day like I did, you spent $1,270 plus on that card. It's pretty much most underwhelming generation we've had in quite a long time. The 20 series actually even was slightly better when you start to look at the performance differences between some of the cards. So let's go over what the 40 series, the 4080 Super is supposed to be. First of all, they're all confused and all over the place about it being an 8103 or an 8102, which is kind of massive because you're talking about two different memory bandwidths here. You're either going to get the 256-bit or you're going to get the 320-bit. If you get the 320-bit, then you can probably get 20 gigabytes of VRAM, which would be way better. It would be nice to see NVIDIA do that and keep the same or lower prices, which I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I don't think that that's going to happen. Just earlier today, we had another leak after a couple of leaks this week from Videocardz. And this one is talking about how Hardware Info actually listed it right down here, added the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080 Super. And this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be called the 4080 Super. They kind of go over that here. They're now kind of convinced that it's going to be an 8103. And they're talking about 16 gigabytes of VRAM with the 256-bit bus. I actually believe that this is probably more accurate, and the reason I say that is because NVIDIA does not want to give us a 4080 Ti. The 4080 Ti would be very close in performance to the 4090, and they just raised the prices on the 4090. I'm not sure if anyone has noticed that, but many of the base models are now $1,700 US. So I have a feeling that because there is really no competition at that top end, they want to replace the 4080's bad name, put the Super on there just like they did with the Turing architecture. If you remember, the 1080 Ti performed exactly like the 2080 in raster performance. They were pretty much neck and neck in most titles, and that's why a lot of people did not upgrade from the Pascal generation to the Turing generation. So now that we have that kind of similar issue here, not to say that the 4080 non-super wasn't faster, it was actually a good deal faster than the 3090 Ti. It was just a bad deal in general when it comes to price to performance. But now that we have that similar lineup happening, you can kind of see how this is going to play out. They're probably going to launch the 4080 Super and the 4070 Super. I don't know if they'll launch a 4060 Super this generation. The fact that there's already a Ti there was no Ti model during the Turing architecture, so that card is kind of already in its place. Maybe they'll do it way down the line in 2024 just to give people some excuse to buy a card and then be mad when the 50 series comes out. Who knows? But the main point here is that they are directly copying the Turing architecture. The 2080 Ti, for an example, should have been a 2090 by the standard that we're looking at here. And the reason that they probably should have called it a 2090 was because a lot of people back a couple years ago were really confused about what Ti actually meant. How different is a Ti versus a non-Ti? Hardcore NVIDIA fans obviously know the Ti is the best model, but that name has also kind of been ruined recently. If you look at the 4060 Ti performing just like the 3060 Ti, you're not getting like that huge performance bump that the Ti used to carry with its name anymore. So obviously we have to take all this information as leaks or rumors, big grain of salt kind of deal. And that being said, I'm pretty sure they'll do it. It just makes sense this generation to do it. They'll probably put out a 4080 Ti super late down the line, maybe a 4090 Ti even, but that's kind of been also squashed within the last couple of months. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Are you interested in this? I could see some professional applications having a benefit of having that 20 gigabytes of VRAM. I know a lot of people that run the 7900 XT, not the XTX, and are pretty happy with that when it comes to like professional use case scenarios. So maybe there are some people that just don't want to spend that 4090 money. They don't game or something. Maybe they would be interested in this. It's hard to tell. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. It's kind of just a short video. Just felt like, I don't know, ranting about it. If you like what you like, sub and do all that stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.